Get up and go on with your life. It's all right to sit around, be depressed for a minute, cry about it, do whatever you have to, but don't stay there too long. Get up and go on with your life. This is what I learned in all these years on this earth. If somebody want to walk out of your life, let them go. You can't change people. So I don't know what make folk think they can change somebody. You can't change nobody. That is a waste of time sitting around trying to change somebody.
What am I supposed to do now?
Get up and go on with your life. It's all right to sit around, be depressed for a minute, cry about it, do whatever you have to, but don't stay there too long. Get up and go on with your life.
And good evening, everybody. Especially of the news so that's actually happened across the world. It is great tragedy, even here and actually in Canada, to do with actually the murders of the Aboriginal people who have been actually murdered. What Eva and I we would like to do tonight, though, is actually give a couple minutes actually for silence for the Queen. So let's continue actually on for a couple minutes of silence. Again, though, this is actually for the Queen. Alrighty. Well, we do say thanks to everybody that's actually tuned in tonight. And Eva, how are ya?
I am doing fine, doing fine. We're here in Michigan. It's been, I would have to say, perfect. The days are hot, but not humid. The nights are cool, great for sleeping, and you can't beat that.
No, and that's exactly how it is across the river. Also,
Yay!
for those that go ahead.
No, I just said yay.
Yeah. So for those that do not know, Eva is over in the States. I'm here in Canada. We're pretty much across the river from each other. And yeah, tonight though, what we're going to be doing though is we're going to be talking. Yeah. Sort of like what she's saying though is sort of like that. So she's actually in Michigan. But tonight though, we are going to be talking about walking away. Now the Queen has walked away from us. It's been a great tragedy for that. And also with the murders that actually happened in Saskatchewan. I'm presuming, Eva, though, that you've heard about that also in the States?
Oh, yeah. That's a big thing over here. We have, it's such an occurrence over here. After a while, you kind of go tone deaf. And when I heard it was happening, what had happened in Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, wait, what? That's, oh my God, that's in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shock.
Yeah. It was a shock for that evening, especially from the news yesterday. I had a job interview yesterday, so I got a brand new job. I love the company I'm actually was at right now. So I'm now working for a new company. But Trevor, our moderator and producer, had actually did give me a call and said, "Did you happen to hear the news?" I was like, "No, I'm waiting for the news right now from Saskatchewan." He said, "No, the Queen actually passed away." So, but yes, there has been some great tragedy all across the world. So. Now they say, and Eva might agree with me, though, that things happen in threes. So what's the third one going to be?
That's a good one.
So
I know what I'd like it to be, but that's terrible.
Same here. So I think we're
Thinking
reading
in
each
the
other.
same.
I think we all have that.
Are we thinking about the same person? That's the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hear mom in the background. So.
Yes. In fact, that's an interesting thing to Queen Elizabeth. She remembers the coronation and watching it on TV. And she was like in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have no memories of it all. So I mean, she was the only one I ever knew, and I'm in my 70s. So yeah.
I remember her wedding.
My mom says she remembers her wedding.
Her wedding or else the Queen's wedding?
The Queen's wedding.
Okay, right here, just trying to be some comical.
She does remember her own wedding for some reason.
Yes. So for everybody that doesn't know tonight, though, what we're going to be talking about, though, again, though, is walking away. So Eva's going to do some reading tonight. I'm going to actually do some reading also, but I'm going to start off with, though, have you ever gone into a location or even a room and you've noticed, though, that the energy actually in this room does not feel right? It feels creepy. It doesn't feel positive at all. Have you ever experienced any of that? Let's check in with Eva. Have you experienced that?
Just a second. Yes, I have on more than one occasion. And in some incidences, I knew the reason why. I was just trying to think. We were in Detroit and we were doing a ghost thing in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
And there was one room we walked into, and come to find out it was the dispensary. And oh God, that was terrible. So I knew what that was about. But I've also gone to places where, like you say, you walk in and you go, ooh, do we have to stay here?
Yeah. And that's kind of how I was feeling actually with the job I left, though. Like I loved the job 100%, but it was the area and also with the people, like staff members. Some of them, though, I could actually read. Their energy was actually way off. So for me, though, it was kind of creepy. But I do see, though, that your little baby's actually up there with you.
Yes.
So yeah, again, those, if you guys have any questions tonight, feel free to type them in. We would love to actually for you guys to actually type in your questions. Again, those, if you want to be able to type in the question for next week, you can type in. Our address, though, is divineoraclereadings@gmail.com. That's the Divine Oracle Reading at gmail.com. Again, though, is so let's just get some readings about that there, but walking into locations and see what that actually comes to, Eva.
Okay.
So yeah.
No. Sorry.
It's all right.
She wants to go on the keyboard and lay across it like she normally does with me. Because that's what I do. And
yeah,
like to snuggle down because it's getting cold.
It is getting a little bit cold. Now, right when I was just shuffling, I'll also start off, Eva.
Okay.
Right when I was just doing some shuffling, though, I actually just got one card. And the card, though, I got, though, I will show you guys within a second, though, is actually Scattered Vision. Choose forgiveness in order, actually, for healing. See the light in all. So this, again, though, is Scattered Vision. So some of us, though, our third eye is open. We can actually see the negative energy right when we get in there. But what we mostly do, though, again, though, is we always don't know exactly what the energy is going to be like before we walk in. So that there is Scanned Vision. Scanned Vision is that card there. But yeah. All right. So Eva, what did you pick up?
Well, it's kind of interesting. The Tower as the first card. The Tower.
Okay. Yeah.
I find that one interesting because walking into a place and all of a sudden getting very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use negative, but you get this overwhelming feeling of something's not right. The tower is falling.
Yes.
Next card I pulled up was the Hierophant, or the High Priest, as to counter to the High Priestess. And that's kind of interesting because what does a priest do? He blesses things. Yes, baby, you got it. You can't. No, you can't stay there. Priests bless things. Priests make sure things are to get rid of the negativity. And that's telling us that's something that we have to work on, followed by the Fool. And I read that as kind of once you experience the negative, get rid of it and begin looking at it from a more positive type of a thing. And the summary card is the Six of Wands.
Yep.
I always put it too close and I apologize. The Six of Wands, which is also telling us that once we have conquered the negativity, we can go forward in positivity. So when you walk into a place or go in among people even, and you feel a certain negativity, call the angels, the high priest, to guide you, protect you. There's all kinds of crystals and stones that you can wear for protection. And the Fool tells us, again, that when we acknowledge, which is something we have to do, that's part of the high priest, acknowledging that there are negative feelings. We don't ignore them, but we work to neutralize them. And that's kind of what the priest is doing too, or the Hierophant, I'm sorry. And the Fool is also telling us that we have to look at this in a very positive light, almost with the idea of the angels.
Yeah.
And the Six of Wands tells us that, again, that once we accept this and we go forward, we will be victorious. We will ride out of the maelstrom. Oh, I like that word, maelstrom. Sometimes I don't know where these words come from.
Well, the words are actually coming from spirits. The spirits can communicate through us.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
So sometimes like we don't know right where things come from, but usually whenever we're dealing with actually reading, the positivity words are coming right from the spirit. So,
well, positivity is actually a word that comes from an entity that I channeled, and she often spoke of negativity and positivity. And I had never heard that word before, and I guess it really is a word. And but Katar would use, I would read the transcript. I never listened to the tapes, but I'd read the transcript and it's like, that's not me talking. Those words don't come out of my mouth normally.
Yeah.
What you say about spirit, that's true. That is so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I also I just reshuffled. I redid actually 3 extra cards. Compared to the one that popped out right away. The first one that I got was Mother Mary. All right. Love peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. All right. So whenever we go actually into the room, so that's one thing though that we're actually always striving for, though, is actually peace within certain area. Now, at times, what we can do though is like what Eva was saying though is we can call actually on the angels to actually guide us and actually protect us from the negative. But sometimes we always forget though to turn around to our angels and say, hey, thanks for being there, for your presence, and thank you much for being here actually all together. All right. So that's one thing that's very important though, is that card there. So that was Mother Mary. And Mother Mary, for most people though, that no. Even for people that go to church, Mother Mary is supposed to be represented actually as Mary Magdalene. She was a peaceful woman. Again, that's Mother Mary. The next one I got though is transition. Rise up, honor your inner force, right? Which is really good though, because that's sort of like what I'm saying. Though, is right when you go in the room, before you go actually into any room, thank your angels for being there, and also say to them, thank you much for your presence. So the way the angels are actually with you at all times, and that's one thing though that you gotta know Eva was picking up. The last one that I got though is cosmic gateway. Your thoughts are basically all the power. That's what that is. So if you think more positive, it's going to happen. If you think negative is going to happen. But again, always send the positive forward. So, but Eva, though, you've got a couple you got some notes there for questions.
Yeah, I have to bring it up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just trying to think it. No, I did it anywhere. That's the problem. Well, let me see. Hang on. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're still here, love.
Oh, there we go.
You're still here.
Hey, give me a. I was not thinking I've had it up there. I think I downloaded. Did I download? My computer's right now. Well, download.
Okay, all right. So we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Right? Now the other thing though is, whenever you're out walking and nobody's around, but you're walking actually down the road, all of a sudden you got the creepy feeling about don't go this certain way. What do you do? Do you turn the other way, or do you just keep on walking? I know actually as myself though, what I would do though is normally I stop for a couple minutes to think about it. What's the pros and cons? But normally though, it's the best way to do though is just walk away from the negative feeling that you're getting. Sometimes it could be actually your angels, they're actually talking to you, or else it could be the spirits talking to you. So what do you say about that, Eva?
Well, I think the things you have to understand is that I have done ghost. I've done normal whatever you want to call them. And just getting this. Hang on, there we go. I've done a paranormal things with a group, and there are times I walked into a house and you could feel just negativity, and it's like, do we want to go here or not? Other times, so much the house, but the people that are involved. You can create your own positive, you can create your own negative, and because people, how to describe it, they feel that these things are happening. I think they're feeding into it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It causes negativeness to be with the realm of the house. It's interesting. I've heard different people have a house blessed. They've got bad things happen, and they'll have a priest and bless the house. All of a sudden, everything starts working right again. I think, yeah, there could be some negative spirits, but I think you create your own. When you find that feeling, everything's set right, blessing, you start producing positive. I can tell you stories that would do your hair. Well, you have enough hair to do you? Supposed to laugh, light.
Well, Dory, I was just smiling away, love.
Okay.
So
I remember that we did. We were very hesitant because as we drove up the house, you could feel this negativeness. And I want to say evil because it wasn't evil. That's a whole different feeling. And we went in the house, and I did have a priest with us. And do you think I should holy water in? And I said, oh, definitely, definitely, which he did. And I swear to God, it happened. He had a little so big of holy water, and he went to take the cap off, and he couldn't take it off at all. But when he finally did take off, the water splattered, and you could feel the positiveness radiate out. We just looked at each other going like, okay, I'm not going to question it. We'll just take it for what it's. So that's one.
okay. Okay. All right. Because I know some people though that they actually feel like headaches, they feel nausea, or else they feel physical discomfort. Actually, altogether, whenever they're around negative energy,
Pressure.
You feel pressure. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. What I get sometimes though, right when I'm around negative energy though, is it's like knots in my stomach.
Mm.
So, but
I feel like there's two. I don't even, but in right at the temples, just pushing, just and the closer I get, the pushes, and sometimes with a tremendous headache.
Yeah, that's like a. Were you able to pull up that sheet by any chance, or?
Piney, I'm coming up now.
Okay.
It just a little while.
Yeah. So again, though, is sometimes though, energy can actually be talking to us in different ways. Right when we do come back, actually, after Eva does read the questions for you guys and the response back, what's going to go on those? We're going to be talking about relationships, about negative relationships, and this is really touchy. So that's one thing that we're going to be talking about. So yeah. Just let me know whenever you have the sheet pulled up, love.
Done through the internet and not download because I thought, oh, I have plenty of time. You know how that. Do you want to take a break right now?
Yeah. What we'll do those. We'll take a break right now, and then we'll be right back. So, all right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
He'd mentioned publicly that he liked the shows on T&E. We were thrilled that he came on board for Hotel Paranormal.
Well, we approached T&E. We knew that T&E had such a great success with the more sort of straight paranormal, ghost hunting, haunting genre.
And I am the founder of Spectrum Paranormal Investigations here in the UK. Also a television presenter on Paranormal Captured and The World's Most Unexplained as well.
And he's the one that told my mother the story of Bathsheba. So for Lorraine Warren to just pluck that out of nowhere was fascinating.
As kids, they told us to follow our dreams, but the minute we started chasing them, they told us we were being unrealistic, told us to think about our future, said it was too late for us, and passions don't pay bills. But what they didn't know is that dreamers make their own victory.
All right. So we are back We are back. Wonderful. And yeah, so Eva was able to pull up those questions. Again, though, I'm gonna let Eva actually take the floor now.
Okay, let's do a little bit quick. Let's try that again. This is just a little quick quiz to gauge the negative energies within you and how you can kind of answer these questions to see where you fit in. Okay, do you complain all the time or sometimes? Do you often discuss question 2? Do you often discuss what's wrong in the world more than it's right? This includes the terrible weather, the horror traffic, the idiotic government, lousy economy, stupid in-law, etc., etc. Criticize all the time or just certain people? 4, you attracted drama and disaster? Can you unglue yourself from the TV when there's a new story of a disaster? And you avoid being involved in the mix of dysfunctional celebrities? 5, do you blame all the time or just certain situations? 6, believe that you have no control over most of your results? 7, do you feel like a victim? Do you talk people doing things to you? Grateful for what is, or were you grateful when things are finally going to start going right for you? 9. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do 9? Yeah.
Yeah, you did 8.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
9.
all right.
You feel like they're happening to you. You feel that they're happening through you. And lastly, these 2 points are very important. If you are not grateful, except when things go right, you are negative. Attitude is positive. You are grateful for what is, including the unpleasant school life lessons, then you can invite more and more positive energy in your life. Believing that this happened to you puts you in the role of a victim. Then it's easy to be negative because it's convenient to give up power. So consider this alternative. Who or what is to blame when good things happen to you? And last, acknowledge that you're responsible for things as you worked hard, you earned it, etc. But blame external events on other people for your failures. So how come when things go good, they are a result of what you do? But when things go bad, it's somebody else's fault? Nobody likes to hear that. It takes courage to get you can create your own life experience.
Yeah. So if anything has pointed out to you within those questions, turn yourself more positive. There are different techniques so that you can actually use. You can use actually sage. You can buy Palo Santos, which we actually have plenty of. Eva also does sell actually some crystals also, though that do actually help out within the positivity view for you. So there's a lot of plenty of selections so that it can actually help bring that negative more positive. Now, again, those what I said though before we went for break though, what we're going to be doing though is we're going to be talking about relationships within negative relationships. This is really touchy. So let you know this is stuff though that has happened to us, or else we know somebody though that has actually gone through this stuff. And what have we done? Now, I'll just sort of let you know, I was in a years back, I was in a very abusive relationship. It was not physical, but it was mental. It took years for me to actually be able to move on. There are times though that I still fall back underneath the way though that I was treated. But the thing though is what I'm always doing though is I'm always grounding myself. And grounding yourself is very important. Now, Eva, what have you had anything, or has anybody, or do you know anybody that has had stuff happen?
Well, in my own case, I don't know if you can tell from just look at me, I am a big woman. I've been a big woman, big, beautiful woman, BW. I always thought that I went through a series of, I couldn't to get a job, and I did it. It was crap-assy. Oh, excuse me. It was not good. People there didn't seem to treat me very well and had a very self-image. And I managed to get a job. The woman I had as a mentor just gave me such a positive image to work. The time I left that job, I started getting very good job. I respect. It was all because I turned it back and I said, I'm putting up with this. I know I'm good. And that can be kind of an ego thing, but yeah. And I have also had people in my personal life that were very the bullies, so negative. And when I stopped that, all of a sudden these people want to be my friend anymore. It's interesting. And I don't miss them.
Yeah. And in that term, though, sort of that's happened to me also within the past. What I've actually looked at them, though, is they were negative. They were trying to bring you, like myself, down with also others around. So what we've done, though, is which tonight's topic has been walk away. So that's what what I can say, though, is that they were negative. I need to move better to light. One incident, though, is actually with my sibling. My sibling and I, we no longer talk. I've lost my sibling actually out. My sibling is nothing like what Eva was saying earlier in reading, drama queen. So I've moved away. It's a lot better. I do occasionally talk to her children. The oldest one I talk to occasionally. But I keep on saying to him, no, you need to get away from the stuff. And still, he's around the stuff. He sees the stuff going actually on. But the thing though is, how can you turn around to one person and say to the other person, you don't need to be there? What I like to do though is actually with Eva though, before we close tonight, and before the Queen of Ooga Booga comes on, that's a reminder. Yeah, the Queen of Ooga Booga. Watch her next actually on YouTube. She is going to be talking about actually the new king to be, which is Charles. She's going to be talking about him. But yeah, let's get back actually onto the show and talk and do a reading about how would you explain to somebody about getting away from the negative stuff.
Ooh, that one.
Yep. So we'll do a quick reading on that, and then we'll discuss that.
I can always get drugs or drink it. I know. I got some drugs, dude.
Yeah.
Not over anything. That's terrible. Apologize. Well, things I would say to people: get rid of the negative. Say it now or wait. Do you want me now or wait?
You can go ahead.
One of the things that I would tell people about to get rid of negativity, to get up into positive vibration, start laughing. It's that simple. If you have to watch a comedy on YouTube, but try and look at the more humorous side of life. Like we're just doing, hey man, some drugs, anything. We laugh, and that's what it's all about. And I remember when I first starting to take lessons and stuff, or sitting in classes, however you want to say it. The doctor that I had, he interviewed you. If you couldn't laugh, he didn't want you in the class. Because laughter is what raises vibration, raises the positiveness. And you tend to look at like a sad thing going to happen to you, things are going to happen to you. You can't get away from that. I'm sorry, that's the way life is, but take it with a sense of humor. That's what I tell someone. That doesn't mean you sit there and look at everything and think everything is, it just means that you look at it with a more positive attitude.
Yeah.
You're not going to let it get you to, well, you get off of that. Sorry.
So
She's
it's all right.
on, cats like mice. Well, she's sitting on my mouse.
Well, hey, it is a mouse.
That's true.
So, yeah.
But allow sit in the house on my mouse.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah. So basically, though, is with it, try to get somebody away from negative. This just recently happened actually at the old job I was working at, and so what I would say though is from one person to another person, the manager and I, we were kind of friends up until her attitude totally changed because right when she became full manager. Anyway, so the incident, I'll give a quick short story about it. Incident happened. Those two people were in. They were saying though that the manager was being negative about certain material and everything else. The boss started walking upwards. The people came over to talk to me. I tried to block them out. The boss actually pulled me away from the negative. All right, and I do say thank you very much actually for that. But that's the main thing though, is if you know somebody that's around negative within a work environment, pull them away. All right. The reason why is because that negative could actually rub off on somebody else. Right. And that's one thing though that we don't need. We always need the light, joy, which is what the Queen was offering. So that's one thing though that we need to do is actually bringing more positive energy into people's relationships or even work environment. So work environment though, that could be classified also as a relationship. The reason why is because you're constantly working with the people each day. And yes, so the cards I got though is Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Right, and with that one though, expect miracles. So is true though, is whenever you're actually offering somebody some actually guidance, all right, the person could turn around and actually say, "Thanks very much," and that could be actually some messages trying to give them without saying any words. So that's preventing actually again all that negative. The next one I got though is divine order. Do what you feel is right. All right. But you have to do it within the proper procedure. Don't do it within the negative way. You can always do it within the proper way to give towards somebody else. So the next one though after that I got though again though is scattered vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. All right. What you can always do though is exactly with somebody that's in a relationship. You can always later on down the road forgive them. All right, mentally, for making you move away from that negative, so that way you can actually grow stronger down the road. All right, not at the time, but that's later on down the road. The next one I got though is devotion. Trust your spiritual guides. All right, your spiritual guides are always giving you the messages, so listen to them. A lot of us though, we don't listen to our spirit guides, but well, that's one thing though that we need to do is start listening to our spirit guides. So yeah. Okay, all right, and what did you get, Eva?
Well, it's interesting. The first one that I pulled up, the 9 of Cups, which you see a man who is very happy with the way things are. Yeah. He doesn't have 10 cups, he only has 9, but he doesn't care. He's happy. Next card pulled up was the Lovers, which is another aspect of extending that positiveness outward. And then the third one was kind of try that again. The third one kind of repeat your Holy Spirit. The dove in the hand.
Yeah.
The 9 of coins. And the last card that I pulled up was the Two of Rods, which the image I had is kind of interesting because he's holding the whole world in his hand, even though I realize it's probably the moon, but he's holding the world in his hand. Once you achieve this, and I'm looking at this from body,
Yeah.
spirit, or body, mind, and spirit. It's got to have all of it or it's not going to work right. And once you get it together, you've got the world in your hand.
Yeah.
You can do anything. You've got to keep that physical, mental, spiritual aspect of the negative, keeping negative away, keeping the positive around you. And I find that in my life experiences, the more you work to keep it around you, the easier it is. And the more you keep it around you, the bigger your sphere of influence. Hence, the world in your hand.
World in your hand. Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Eric. Well, last week though, we were doing a special message actually for somebody that was traveling, and they wish though that we would have done this last week. What we talked about, these ones, because they actually they were around somebody that was actually sending out negative around them. They wish though that they could have walked away, but they couldn't. So because they were actually in the vehicle with the person.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, how can I say this? Okay, sometimes we are put around a negative person or in a negative situation for a learning purpose, to be stronger to ourselves. I mean, that would be the first thing that comes to my mind. But I think when you're put into this situation and you can't walk away, there's a lesson there. Please be open to it. Let it happen. And even if it's, you know, how can I say this? Even if it's something that is not the happy ending, you know, and they lived happily ever after, but it kind of leaves that, what did I just go through? You'll come out eventually and you will learn from this. Be willing to learn. And once you start being willing to learn, the negativity will go away because you are picking up on that lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so true. That's so true. From so many years actually being around and everything else. And it's true though, because if you what I usually say though is if you want the positivity, shine that light around you. Put that aura, a bubble around you. So that you can actually be able to sort of reflect and bounce off those negative words. Even if you're in the car with somebody traveling, they'll start noticing though that hey, I shouldn't be saying this, or shouldn't be doing that. They start noticing that there's a difference change actually with the environment right around them, and that's one thing I have noticed though actually over the years. So it's like gosh, so but yeah. So I know though that it's beautiful weather over there in Michigan.
And you should have just seen the sunset. It was absolutely gorgeous.
I wish I could have seen it, but right now though we have the blinds closed. So, but yes, again though is for everybody though that sort of wants to know a little bit more about us. Even and I though we're here for you guys. At the end of the video though, we do actually in the credits though there is actually Eva's email address. If you'd like to be able to get readings from her, feel free. Send her a message, or even send myself a message. We do live personal readings with you guys. So that's the main thing though, is again though, we do personal readings. Our email addresses, again though, are mine though is divineoraclereadings@gmail.com. And Eva's, what's your
Anacar22 yahoo.com. Shows you how old I am.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about Yahoo. So it's like, so I got a message actually here from Chrissy. She's the one that I started telling you about the car. My lessons was that I thought though I could be a better mom than the person, because Chrissy does not use foul language around her son. She hardly uses it. So she thought she could be the better mother. So, which is awesome. So thanks a lot, Chrissy, for that response. I know though that right now that you sent that to me underneath my personal account. But yes, again though, it's the Queen of Booga Booga is going to be next at 9 o'clock. So check out her site. Anything else before we close tonight, Eva?
I can think of offhand. I would like to send my sympathies to all Canadians, loss of the Queen. Long live the King. It should be interesting to see the transition. I don't think Charles is going to be the 70-year thing, but I think it will be a good transition from his grandmother, or from William's grandmother. And I think it's going to be a good thing. I think we're going to see some very big changes. But again, to offer my to all Canadians over the loss of.
Yeah. And also for the families out of Saskatchewan that have actually faced exactly what has taken place this week, our hearts go out to you guys. During yesterday's like the press and all that, the first thing I got though from you guys though is don't be sending up the negativity. That's the worst thing, and that's what I saw yesterday was the negativity. What we need to do though is actually send up the positive stuff. How can we make sure that again though that this doesn't happen again? Again though, the OPP did not send out the alert over top of any cell phones, nothing like that, which is what they did in first response. You know, that was actually from the council. Again, those, how can we grow stronger? We have to be able to work actually as one. So, and also for the Queen though, the Queen's family, you're awesome. So again, those, thanks a lot for everybody that came in tonight. You guys have a wonderful night. Eva and I will talk to you later.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.